Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Energy Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about a pretty massive new Pokemon announcement that happened today. We're going to take a look at the decks that have been doing well over in Japan since they do have the brand new set legal. They've got those Ethan's Pokemon hanging around, a few other interesting things as well that have been doing well in Japan. We will, of course, have Guess That Flavor Text, everyone's favorite segment of the podcast. And we're going to wrap up this week by talking about the upcoming Stockholm Regional Championships this weekend. We're going to make some predictions, talk about what we think may or may not happen in the meta. And then, of course, we will have our weekly bonus episode exclusive to our YouTube channel members and Spotify subscribers. My name is Chip Ritchie, and I'm joined here, as always, by my friend and co host, Azul GG. What's up, Azul? How we doing? How has your week been?
It's been pretty good. Started streaming again just today, actually, as we're recording this. So yesterday, when people are tuning in, kind of took a break for a little while. Still kind of recovering a little bit from my surgery. It wasn't really hurting too much, but like talking for a little while does start to build up. But at this point, I'm like fine. Like basically, I feel like 100% fine. I do go for my checkup at the end of this month, actually. I think on the 31st, so a little over a week from now. So hopefully everything went well and it's all good moving to the next stage of that process. But yeah, but last week or so, kind of chilling, um, catching up on shows. Honestly, there's a lot, like for me, this has been a good time for shows. The Wheel of Time season 3 started up again, and that's actually a show I've gotten really into. And then I've been watching this anime called Solo Leveling. I just had to like say this somewhere. It's the most overhyped anime ever. Um, it's a
What's
fun
it
show,
called?
Solo Leveling. And that's actually what I talked about it with Grant at EYC because I was looking for some new animes to watch, and he was like, "It's fine." Or I had watched the first episode or the first episode or two, and he's like, "It's fine." It's like the first episode is like the best episode in anime ever, and then after that, you'll see once you keep watching. And I kept watching, and it's definitely the most overhyped anime ever, but it's like a fun show, and I'm gonna watch it to the end for sure. I still enjoy it, but it's definitely way overhyped for what I thought it was gonna be. It's not that good. But, yeah, watching some shows. Um, Invincible also concluded this last week,
Dude, I
and
need to catch up. I watched season 1 of Invincible and really liked it. Never watched season 2, and it was just season 3, right, that just happened?
yeah, and this season was a
Yeah.
lot better than the last season, but, I mean, all shows have their ups and downs. Not everything can be the best.
I just haven't been super into watching shows and movies and stuff in forever. Like, usually on flights and stuff now, I will, because most Delta flights have Wi-Fi on board
Mhm.
now for free. I just will watch YouTube videos, and usually at home, I just watch YouTube videos. Like, I have not been watching a show in quite a while. I really need to find a good show to, like, sink into.
Dude, I've been getting back more into shows recently. I don't know, I, like, definitely have had that as well, where I, like, be more into YouTube videos, but I've gotten to the point where, um, when I but the days that I go, I had to take a break from, like, working out and stuff, but I was getting back into working out this week. It's, like, annoying to run in the cold. It's still cold in the mornings here, so I've been running on the treadmill at the gym, and I've been, like, watching shows while I'm on the treadmill now. Usually, I'm just, like, watching a YouTube video, or usually I'm, like, listening to a YouTube video or music, but I was
Yeah.
like, "You know what? I kinda wanna, like I got a lot of shows to catch up on. Let's put a show on instead because 'cause I'm just on the treadmill, so can do that while I'm running. Can't really do that while you're, like, lifting weights and stuff, but while I'm running, may as well take advantage of the time watching more shows. So, yeah, I've been getting into especially, like, I don't know, I feel like I picked up so many good shows recently. Severance is another one that I started
I've heard
watching.
so many people talk about Severance.
Yeah.
I really need to
That one
watch
is
it.
actually, lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
Solo Leveling doesn't. I know you don't watch anime, but for anyone out there who's listening, Solo Leveling doesn't live up to the hype. Severance definitely lives up to the hype, and
Yeah,
so does Invincible.
you only have to worry about the weeb talk from one of us when you're
Yeah.
listening to this podcast. Don't worry, everyone.
Yeah, but that's what my week's been, like, watching a lot of shows, getting back into working out, starting up streaming again. I'm gonna be doing all that, get uploading on YouTube again. I uploaded a YouTube video today as well, so get back to uploading on YouTube and streaming and all that kind of stuff. But, looking forward to this weekend because 'cause I'm gonna restream Stockholm. And then, I mean, we're getting back I feel like we've had, like, a break of tournaments for a little while, but now we're kinda getting back into everything. We're gonna have Stockholm, week off a little bit with Brisbane, but then there's Champions League Miyagi the week after that. Then there's Atlanta the week after that, and then it's like week after week after week after week for
Yeah,
a while, I think.
yeah.
So
It's
looking
gonna
forward to that.
Gonna pick up a lot. Yeah, and we got the new set will be legal on TCG Live, like, not this coming week, but next week, right? So or wait, no, this coming week.
Yeah, this
Not
coming week,
this
this
Thur
coming week.
yeah, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, yeah, so that's, 10 days away or something like that, so that's kind of hype too. Rotation, all that stuff, exciting times in the Pokemon TCG world.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull, post Vancouver, or even like through the Vancouver period. It almost felt like, but we're back on track. But what about you, Chip? What were you up to this weekend if you weren't watching anime?
I was not watching anime. I was watching some basketball though. We had it's like March Madness time for college basketball, and I'm not really super into it. Like the only sport I really follow super in depth is like the NFL. Like I'll follow all the teams and keep up with the news even in the off season and stuff. But I went to school at Clemson in South Carolina, and so I will always watch like any Clemson football game, any Clemson basketball game if I like know what's happening and stuff. And this week is the ACC tournament. Clemson has never won the ACC tournament, but we have a pretty good team this year, and I think we had a pretty good shot. And I just got to say, I don't know if anyone out there watched the ACC tournament or knows any like was following it at all. We got absolutely robbed in the quarterfinals by the refs. It was absolutely terrible.
Was it
So
that bad?
it was bad, man. It was bad. And I would be happy to sit on a soapbox and talk about it here for a second, but I don't want to bore people with it too much. But I
Is
will
it
talk
like
about it. So basically, with like 3 minutes left, we were down 13 points, which is like a ton in a basketball game. Like so improbable to come back from that far down. So we were in a bad spot regardless, right? And so the coaches will always say whenever a game ends on like a bad call, like, oh, it never comes down to like the one thing, but sometimes it does come down to like the one thing. But, we could have played better earlier to not be in such a bad
yeah.
spot to where we needed to play from behind, whatever it was. But anyway, we come back from 13 down. We get within 1 point. We get the ball with 17 seconds left. They inbound it to our best player. They clear the lane. He's kind of moving around the top of the key and then drives in and goes up for the layup and gets fouled super hard by like two different guys. No whistle, no call at all. Ball goes out of bounds. It's the other team's ball. 5 seconds left. And so they inbound it. We foul instantly. So they have to go shoot. We were down one. They make two free throws. So now we're down three. They inbound the ball to our best player again. He jogs down the court with the ball for the Hail Mary last second shot to try to tie the game to send it to overtime. He puts it up, but as he puts it up, the Louisville player tries to foul him before he shoots because if he fouls him before he shoots, he has to go shoot two free throws, and if he has to
Yeah.
shoot two free throws, we can't tie the game, right? So the Louisville player is trying to foul him before he shoots, but it's like simultaneous action. He goes to foul and he shoots at the same time. And if he fouls him while he's shooting, he needs to shoot three free throws to potentially tie the game, send it overtime. No whistle, no call, game's over.
They didn't call a foul at all?
Nope,
It wasn't even a judgment call on when the foul happened?
nope.
Jeez. Is this like kind of one of the is this one of those situations where the Clemson fans are mad, or is it kind of a unanimous
I
thing?
mean, I in from my perspective, I was pretty mad. But
Well,
like
yeah.
the commentators of the game who are supposed to be unbiased, I don't remember who exactly it was, but they were making comments about how, yeah, it looked like he got fouled on that one drive where he would
Yeah.
have been sent to the line to potentially take the lead. And he's very good. He's our best player. He probably would have made both. He's very clutch too. And uh they were like he was literally trying to foul him on the 3-point
Yeah.
shot and they just don't call it, man. It was crazy.
That is always one thing that has always kinda turned me off from sports a little bit, has been the lack of honesty a little bit, where it's like people are so passionate about their team that even if their team does something egregious, they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's fine, we won. Like, who cares? We won." But then when it happens to them, they'll be like, "No, this is wait, what? How is this not called? This is definitely a foul." Like, they'll play both sides so hard. It's always been like a turnoff from me from sports is the way fans kind of interact with the game sometimes. Now that you're mentioning that, it's like one of the things that is, I think, it has been a reason that I haven't really gotten into sports like that a ton. Is like one of those things, and also how the players kind of play it up too.
I will
Like,
say
there was an egregious LeBron flop that happened, like, last week, and it's like, "Come on, bro, this is, like, insane." Um, yeah, so seeing stuff like that is always kind of a turnoff from wanting to watch sports, which is actually kinda why I like football, because that stuff exists way less in football there is a lot of holding that doesn't get called.
Yeah.
But, like, besides that, that is what's one thing that's a little bit more enjoyable of watching football compared to basketball is, like, I feel like there's less room for the players to, like, really try and sell stuff constantly,
All right, you ready for this? We're gonna walk through it. You'll see what
but
you
you have
think.
it.
An unbiased take here from
Alright.
Azul.
With my limited basketball knowledge. You
Okay,
turn
so
up the
yeah.
quality
Okay, hang on. And people should be able to see it too. Quality.
to
It's
the
the
listeners.
highest.
Oh, okay, you're good. It looks
Okay,
like it
yeah.
improved a little bit.
22 seconds, we get the ball
Yeah.
inbounded. This is Chase Hunter, our best player. See
Mhm.
him kind of taking it around. They're clearing out the lane. Or they're about to. And then he takes, oh, punched in the head, no call.
Yeah. Probably should have been a call. It looked like a call to me.
And they'll show it here. Got him there. And then they make the two free throws. They get it off to him right here. Carries it down. Guy grabs him to try to foul him.
Yeah.
And look, you could just I wonder if they'll show the shot, but they on the broadcast showed the shot. Yeah, this. He's just like actual disbelief. Like cannot process the fact that he did not get called, that he got fouled.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, the only thing I can see with that is I hear, like, people say this at, like, in the NBA, in playoffs, they let the players play a little bit more,
And
but if they're not being consistent throughout the game, that's still a problem, right?
and there was definitely at the start of this game, dude, they were just like letting him go crazy. They were not calling like hardly anything. But then after halftime they started calling it a lot more. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It is what it is. It's not like a big deal, but it's just a little bit of a bummer for sure because I thought we had a real chance to win the ACC. I don't know. We probably would have lost to Duke in the final anyway, but they were down their best player because he got hurt in the semifinal or the quarterfinal, I think. So maybe we would have had a shot. We did beat them in the regular season as well, so I thought we had a chance, but it's okay. Now March Madness is going to start. We got college basketball happening, which I never follow super closely, but I will watch all of Clemson's games for sure.
Yeah, people were asking me if I in my chat today if I made a bracket, which no. I don't follow college basketball literally at all. I'll maybe, like, watch the finals,
I
like, on my
used to
Tuesday
follow it a
box.
lot when I was like in middle school and high school. I would always make a bracket, but I haven't made a full bracket for uh March Madness in forever. But I did used to do that.
Yeah. Alright. Well, we had one pretty exciting announcement to talk about first here that came out today, which I think is actually kind of a big deal, kind of in the space of Pokemon, because this is something that, like, it felt like should have already happened, but I feel like I mean, Pokemon has always had contracts with other toys, that are of similar, similarity, but Pokemon is finally coming to Lego, or Lego is finally coming to Pokemon. There's gonna be Pokemon Legos, which for me, honestly, uh, I'm kind of excited for this because I'm a huge fan of Legos. Like, growing up, Star Wars Legos was always, like, my birthday present, Christmas present was always Star Wars Legos, literally every single time for, like, 10 years, more in a row. So I have a lot of I don't even know if the sets are still at home. My mom's maybe gotten rid of them at this point, which is fine. It's been a while. But I recently, the last couple of years, I have been thinking about getting back into Lego. And I don't know, this might be the perfect excuse to start building some Lego again. We'll see what the
Yeah.
sets look like and how intricate they are, but I'm excited to see what they come up with for sure.
Yeah, they just released like this little teaser. All it is just a little Pikachu tail made out of Lego bricks. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's obviously two. I mean, I would say like Pokemon is the largest media franchise, right? That's like something that gets thrown around all the time. Um, and then like Lego is one of the top. It's probably a top five toy manufacturer, I would imagine, in the
Yeah,
world. It's like got to be up there, right?
for
Um,
sure.
so it's just kind of like a crossover that makes too much sense. But dude, they have been cranking out some Lego sets these like last couple of years. I feel like it was like a hobby that people super got into over COVID.
Yeah.
And so now like they're making Lego sets for everything.
Yeah, I wonder, yeah, because they did, like, Marvel stuff, I think, as well. They did those. That
Yeah.
was a big one when they started doing those. I wonder what the what was I gonna say? What it's gonna be like as far as accessibility, because obviously that's a problem that Pokemon has had with their
I
cards.
think it's a problem Lego has had too, so
Yeah, so this is like a perfect storm for scalpers to feast, I'm not gonna lie. Potentially, depends how many sets are made. Like, if there's so much that there's always gonna be available to anyone who wants one, then obviously, there is gonna be like, there is an eventual shortage, obviously, but we'll see what actually happens with that, for sure. But I bet, like, the first couple sets for sure are just gonna sell out on the LEGO store probably instantly. People
yeah.
are gonna be going to get them off the shelves as well, which is kinda gonna suck,
Especially
but
because you know the first ones are gonna be like, there's gonna be a Pikachu set, there will be
Charizard.
a Charizard set, there will be a Dragonite or a like, it's gonna be all of the banger Pokemon that everyone wants to get, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's probably gonna mostly be, like, models,
yeah.
because like, I remember, like, the Star Wars sets that I used to get a lot back when I was younger, were, like, scenes from, like, the movies and the shows of Star Wars and stuff like that, so, it would be, like, a big like, a tank or something or a ship, starship, and then, like, some characters, but these ones are probably gonna mostly be, like, models, where it'll be, like, you build a Pikachu out of, like, 500 pieces or something like that. So I'm interested to see what they come up with as far as that goes.
Yeah, I've never been, in adulthood, I've never been super into Lego sets. I loved Legos when I was a kid, similar to you, like, we had tons of the Star Wars Legos, but then also, like, just regular, like basically, like, any media franchise that came out that we were into. And Star Wars, I guess, definitely was the biggest one, but we had ones that were um, like knights and castles and
Yeah.
dragons and stuff like that. Yeah, my brother and I were super, super into Legos. But yeah, I mean, there've been similar there's not like Lego Pokemon sets, but they have like contract, I think, with like Mega Blocks or Mega Constructs. It's
Yeah.
one of those things. I actually have one of these things that I was given for Christmas like 3 years ago, I think. I never built it.
Well,
I
dude, now
prob
that thing now you might wanna hold it, bro. Keep it sealed.
maybe I should
I
build it. I don't
I would
know.
I have to assume that this partnership means that Pokemon's, um, contract with Mega Bloks or whatever is probably over, right? I have to
Yeah.
assume that that's part of this for sure, because there's no reason they wouldn't have wanted to be partnered with LEGO potentially sooner if possible. So I assume there's, like, some or maybe it was over, like, a year ago and they finally agreed to
Well, I'm
terms with
sure whenever they
LEGO or
like
something.
I'm sure when they started doing the stuff with the mega constructs, because they haven't been doing it forever. It's been within like maybe the last 10 years, something like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's still a while.
Um,
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's been a while, before
yeah.
COVID for sure, for a while.
Yeah. They've been around, but I have to imagine it was like I mean there's no way that like when they were like, yeah, we are down to like have, building block toys made of Pokemon. There's no way Lego was not a part of that conversation, right? Like so
Yeah, yeah, probably, yeah.
it was probably like Mega Bloks was willing to give them a bigger piece
A
of the
better deal.
pie or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
And Pokemon
Um,
wasn't as big back then either, so it's not like they both know that they can do something huge with, like, a partnership, like, back then, 10 years ago or whatever. I mean, they're both big, but they weren't, like, as big as they are today. Um,
I think it'll be really cool if they do one of the big things Lego does, and this is something I've actually gotten Brooke a couple of these over the years for different presents and stuff. They have these ones that are like scenes from different shows and stuff like that. Like she has the Friends Lego sets, like there's one for like the main coffee shop, one for the main apartment that they're all in and stuff like that she's built. So I think it'd be cool if they did them based around the Pokemon video games for like locations, right? Like
mm,
inside a Pokemon Center or inside
yeah.
Brock's gym or inside of the Elite Four. I don't know. There's a lot of really cool potential of things they could do with this. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited about it for
I
sure.
didn't know they were doing Friends sets. They've really branched out since the last time I looked at LEGO sets.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they've got several of them, I'm pretty sure. You see, I was gonna pull them up, but I just got 20 pop-ups going to the when you type in Lego Friends, that is not it's like some child toy, but it's like this set right here. Yeah, there's like
Okay, yeah, yeah.
the main set, and they always do, like, cool little Easter eggs and stuff too, like, this one you can it's, like, made like a movie set, right? You
Yeah.
see how they've got and then, like, there'll be, like, different little Easter eggs from the show, like, hidden in the closet and hidden, like, under the couch and stuff like that, so, I think they'll do cool things with it for sure, I'm excited about it. One thing I never got into, but I know they've recently done big Lego Lord of the Rings sets, Like, oh yeah, dude, look at this thing.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
$460. So that is another piece of this. Like there's a potential, like there will be some little sets that are probably 20, $30, whatever, right? But then like this is a huge market that didn't really exist 5 years ago, of like, or it wasn't quite as big as it is now, of like people who are willing to spend hundreds of dollars on these like premium toy products that are adults, right?
Yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot bigger. Well, I think part of that as well is like kind of like our generation. We are the adults now, and we
Yeah,
came from this generation of like the generation of adults playing with toys is like starts kind of with us. I feel like
for sure.
um, more so, I guess, than it has in the past. So like we're gonna be like 70 playing video games still or something like that.
Heck yeah, bro. You got any better plans?
No,
You wanna play you wanna play gin rummy or something at the nursing home?
no, I gotta finish God of War 2 still. So I got
Maybe you'll finish it by the time you're 70.
yeah, we'll see.
No, that's what you're
Um,
waiting for. You're waiting for retirement. Dude, what a perfect time to have sat down and actually played a video game when you couldn't do anything for the last 2 weeks with your, like, streaming and stuff.
yeah. I mean, part of it, I just kind of didn't want to do anything. Some of the first couple days where I got back
Dude,
from.
playing a video game is doing nothing.
Yeah, but even then, like it's like even then, like nothing, nothing. Like,
You just wanted
um,
to rot.
yeah, let my mouth fully recover and then go from there. Would have been, yeah, you're not wrong though. That would have been a good time to have picked it back up. I don't know if I would have finished it. I'm not sure where I'm at in the story to be honest. I gotta be at least 2/3 of the way through. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Pokemon Legos, and you might see me building some on stream, depending on what the sets look like. Might be the perfect opportunity for me to get back into the hobby. We'll see.
Well, the newest set over in Japan is now released and legal for play. We had pre-releases this weekend for Journey Together, and over in Japan, they were getting cards for what is this set called in Japan?
Uh,
Hot Wind Arena?
that's can't be right.
Hot Wind Arena, bro. I think it's
It-
like one of those like 2 sets. Like there's like 2
I think it's
mini
just the one.
sets.
I think it's just the one. Hang on, I can check. Hot Wave Arena.
Oh, so it's just wrong on Limitless. Robin, what's going on, bro? Hot Wind Arena? Wait,
Hot
is there Hot
Wave
Wind and Hot Wave maybe?
No, I think it's just Hot Wave Arena. And then
Robin.
on yeah, I think that is all they had, and then on April 18th, they get the glory of Team Rocket, it looks like.
Okay. And so these will be cards that come out in our next set.
Yes. Which will be coming alongside the glory of Team Rocket, which will get
Yes.
reveals from or probably we will get reveals for it at Champions League Miyagi. So that's 2 weeks from now. We'll be seeing what comes out in the Team Rocket set.
Yeah, April 5th weekend. So that's pretty exciting for sure. But in the meantime, let's take a look at some of the cards and decks, I guess we should say, that have been doing well since this set came out. Because over in Japan, when the set releases, so it released on March 15th, I imagine, or I
Yeah.
guess like the day before or whatever.
Yeah.
And cards are legal for play immediately. And immediately we see one of them having success. And there's actually a couple of these sprinkled in here.
Yeah.
And it's the combination of Golden Go EX and Typhlosion, Ethan's Typhlosion.
You thought Golden Go Dragapult was bad, but wait, there's more. We've got Golden Go Typhlosion, which yeah, I don't know if this is bad or not. The Typhlosion offers like an interesting one prize attacker that can hit pretty hard. It does 40 damage plus 60 more for each Ethan's adventure in your discard pile. You do play 4 of those, so you can hit for 208 damage, right? That's pretty good. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, and the Ethan's Adventure pulls energy cards out of your deck, right? So
Yeah,
you can use that to pair with Golden Go to make it rain to do more damage, and then it allows you to play other specs,
right.
right? Besides the Energy Search Pro, right? Adding something like the Unfair stamp into the mix doesn't seem too bad. And of course, the Ethan's Quilava is a big part of this as well because it lets you search your deck for an Ethan's Adventure card, put it into your hand. So you can like if you aggressively with Buddy Poffin can get down a couple of Cyndaquil, you can get into play potentially on turn 2 or turn end of turn 1 with TM Evolution. A couple of Quilava, you can go get your Ethans. You can use it to get energy out. You can Ultra Ball discard, right? Like you can
Yeah.
get these guys in the discard pile pretty quick so that on turn 3, you can be swinging for a lot of damage with Ethan's Typhlosion as a one prizer.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, could there just be a Typhlosion deck? Could that just be a thing? Like, do we need 280 is like a lot. I guess like you need something to be able to stand up to like Dragapults probably.
Hmm.
Maybe Ethan's Typhlosion can't do it by itself. But we're kind of like, I remember when we were talking about the Ethan's cards, we were like, I don't think you play this deck with Typhlosion or the Quilava. It feels like it'd be better with just like researches and like dig through your deck,
Yeah,
accelerate energy to play. But maybe that's true, but that's because the Typhlosion's in a different deck by itself.
yeah, it's
Or
just the
with Golden
Typhlosion
Go.
deck.
Yeah. Or with Golden Go, get the big one hit. Dude, it seems it's so funny. Like Golden Go paired with Dragapult, Golden Go paired with Typhlosion. It's like Golden Go solves a lot of problems. You need something else to solve the others. And the big one for Golden Go actually right now, not even in their format, the format they're in with these cards, but even our format coming up is fighting Ogre Pawn is like a big I don't know, it's like really checking a lot of decks in the format. And the Typhlosion is an answer to that as well. So that's probably a big piece, big reason to include it in your deck. That the Cornerstone Ogre Pawn is definitely a
Do you remember what I
annoying
said about
card.
Golden Go when Paradox Rift was coming out? What card I compared it to?
Zorark.
Bro, it's we're just every deck. You remember how
Oh!
Zoroark went with everything?
Yeah,
What's
Golden
Golden Go? Golden Goes go with everything, bro.
Yeah,
Maybe
you just
my call wasn't so crazy after all.
you weren't wrong. You were just early. Zorak was played by itself sometimes, like Zorak Control. Just Golden Go by itself is pretty good. Golden Go with
Mhm.
Typhlosion, hey, not bad. Golden Go with Dragapult, not terrible. Dude,
Not
was
terrible, he
Chip
says.
cooking. We'll see what else Golden Go gets paired with in the future. Caesar, people play it with Caesar
Mhm.
thing. Um,
So here's another interesting one that there's a couple of results from, and we just got this card revealed not that long ago, and that was the Yan Mega
yep.
EX. And there's a couple results here, a couple of different lists we can look at, both paired with the Dunsparce. So for those
Oh
who
wait,
don't
click back real
remember,
fast.
whoa, whoa,
Go
whoa.
back twice real fast. Look at all that Dragapult, bro. That's so disgusting. All right, go back to the Yan Mega. I just wanted to.
There's a there actually like just if you click on the top eights of a lot of these tournaments, there's a lot of other new cards that like right here on the front page, we only see the things that have been
Yeah.
winning. But there's like looking at here, we got a couple of Cynthia's Garchomps, right? We got a Crustle deck, and that's the truth for like all of these different
Yeah,
tournaments if
it's
you look at
definitely
them.
worth. I did that earlier today on my stream. I just kind of looked at what's been winning in the Journey Together format. I didn't jump ahead to Heat Wave, but I was yeah, it's definitely worth clicking on the tournament and seeing the top 16 and not just looking at the winning list. There's a lot more to be seen in each individual tournament. But yeah, this is like it's a weird build. It's not just yet. It's like again, make a box.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a wall deck, right? With the Melodic and Farigiraf and Ogerpon, right? But then you've just got this like vanilla strong card in the Yanmega.
Yeah.
And for those who don't remember, because this did just come out a couple or get revealed a couple of weeks ago, it's got the ability Buzz Boost. You may use this ability once during your turn when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot. Search your deck for up to 3 basic grass energy and attach them to this Pokemon. And then its attack for 3 grass, 1 colorless, 210 damage. Move 3 energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon.
Yeah, so it's a very I would say it's a very powerful card, but it's one of those cards where you read it, it's not like a Charizard EX, right? Charizard does everything itself and can do everything itself for the whole game. Yeah, and Mega needs some kind of partner, and we see in this deck specifically, Walls is the inclusion here. Melodic, got the Water Pond in here as well for some snipe action,
I
fighting
think
Ogerpon.
the Dunsparce makes sense as the kind of draw engine potentially for this deck, which I know you love to hate on Dunsparce as well. But if you just, you retreat your Yanmega into Dunsparce, you get to use your runaway draw, send it back, and then boom, Yanmega comes up. You get to use that ability, get a bunch of energy on it once again.
I don't hate the Dunsparce. It was
Yes, you
just
do.
it was bad up until now. Like I'm always talking about cards in the context of the current format, current meta, and the Dunsparce was terrible until Journey
Well,
Together plus rotation.
I think the Dunsparce is cool, and you said he wasn't. So that's all I know.
Okay, sure, sure. Well, let's take a look at there's some other cool decks in this top 16. We can take a look at the other or
Well,
we
here,
want to take a look at the other Yan Mega first.
yeah, I was gonna look at the other Yan Mega first, which is right here. It's also paired with Dunsparce. I'm wondering if this one is paired with walls, and no, it is not, but it is
Yes,
paired
it
with a
is.
different wall.
Yeah.
In the Crustle, another new card coming out. Mystic Rock Shelter. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And also, like, the big things for the Crustle what is its attack to? It's 120 and then what?
It's not
Is the
affected by
effect?
effects.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
So it
Like
one hit KOs fighting Ogre Bonnie X.
so we already have Mimikyu in the format, is what I was gonna say, but Mimikyu only 70 HP, it's only doing 70 damage, 150 HP, doing 120 damage. It's definitely a big step up from that. And when I was looking at some of the decks just from the Journey Together format, there were some quad Mimikyu decks floating around. With like luxurious capes and mist energy and just making big Mimikyus. But Crustle is kind of just a big waller just naturally by itself. But it does come from the Dwebble, which means there's more time for your opponent to kind of disrupt your setting up of your waller. So yeah, you got the
Well,
Yanmega in there as well. Oh,
sometimes
yeah, sometimes it has Ascension.
it does have Ascension, so you just get to search your deck and immediately get the guy in
There's
play.
also TM Evo in here, I guess. All right, you know what? It's just broken. It's just insane.
And what's cool with this too, Crustle isn't a bad like it's not a bad attack on a Pokemon with that ability, right? 120 hit through effects, but takes a while to get that guy powered up. 3 energy cards. But if you have a Yanmega, swing with the Yanmega, boom, you throw all 3 energy onto the
Yep.
Crustle. He's ready to go. And then this deck has Turo, Scoop Up Cyclone. You can, with the Dunsparce as well, get to lone Crustle board states for sure pretty reasonably, which against certain decks could just be checkmate, right?
Yeah, so Yanmega definitely just being used here as like an enabler, right? It's just trying to it's not enough to win games by itself. You need some backup. And so far, the backup we're seeing here is just walls. Just Pokemon that can't be hit by certain Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Wait, go
let's
back. Go back one more. Go back to that one now. What is that Typhlosion Crustle deck?
Typhlosion Crustle, Ethan's Typhlosion Crustle, and Shaman, of course. Oh, Vengeful Punch.
You need the punches.
Gotta have the punches. That's how you get into 320 with Typhlosion, bro.
I mean, there it is. That's what I was talking about. The just Typhlosion deck. But apparently with Crustle. I don't know what Crustle beats, but it's probably beating them. I don't know what it's beating though. Luxurious capes. They're the capes. 250 HP Crustle right there.
That's a big Crustle. What the heck is going on here?
Do we want
Walking
to
Wake
know?
Ogerpon.
Oh.
And this is the downside to clicking on too many City League decks. Is that
Yeah,
right
no,
there?
that all right. Hang on. Now go a little bit. No, go back. I just want to see if we can find this deck real fast. Go back again.
Oh boy.
Scroll down a little ways. Keep
In
going. Keep
here?
going. No. Go back and keep scrolling.
I want to go through there though.
I know. Hold up. We keep going. Or go to that
Dude.
Archaladon. The Archaladon right there at the Dunsparce. Back down a little bit lower. Archaladon Dunsparce. I just want to show you this deck.
Well, this is in the current
Yeah, I know. I
format.
know. I think it's this one. No, go back. Go back. It's a different Archaladon.
Dude,
It's
you're
just
you're cooking us right now.
just click on one of the top tournaments. It's I'm looking for our Chaladon Poison. It's one of the ugliest decks I've ever seen.
Did it win one of
It
these
didn't win.
things?
No. But it's in one of like the top 5, 9 ones.
Dude,
Just go to like number 3. We'll find one.
this is the payoff here has got to be insane.
No, go back. It might be the bottom one there. There's a bottom Archaladon deck there. No, yeah, that might the Mew one. The Mew one. Archaladon Mew at the bottom. Oh, that's it. There it is. I hate this deck. I saw this deck and I was like, this is awful. It's like
Wait, yo, this guy kind of cooked though.
no.
You've got Petrunt, so you can donk some guys, right? Our
Yeah.
Chaladon plus Binding Mochi, that's
Yeah.
260 plus Perilous Jungle. What's this thing do?
9
Plus 30,
plus 20, so
290,
290.
290, then 320 back into your turn. Bye bye Dragapult.
They retreated for sure. But yeah,
Mm,
people
but
were
you
asking
made
about
them
this.
retreat. You made them
I
retreat.
I hadn't seen this deck yet. People were asking about it in my chat, and I was like, I didn't quite know what it was. I was like, oh, so it has Brute Net plus Binding Mochi, so your Child on hits harder, sure. And then I saw it, and I was like, I hate this. 4 Carmine, 2 Squawkabilly. Nope, this is just one of the
Wait,
worst things I've ever seen.
what if you did this in the current format when you had Sneasler? Three is that only up to 310? Oh, how do we do just a little bit more
That's just
damage?
this deck is literally just bad Badoo Terapagos.
But it's our Chaladon, which is
Yeah.
cooler.
No. But yeah, I just wanted to show this to you. If I had to see it, you had to see it.
Thank you for making us all suffer through finding it. All right. Well, I wanted to go back to this one yen mega tournament because there was a couple
Yeah.
of interesting decks we can look at here.
Is it the
Um,
Garchomp?
I think Garchomp is one of the more interesting cards to come out here in this new set, and I mean, this is just basically a straight Garchomp deck. So the Garchomp here, Screw Dive, 100 damage. You may draw cards, so you have 6 cards in your hand, and then Dragon Buster for 2 fighting, 260. Discard all energy from this Pokemon, and it is Cynthia's Garchomp as well. And then the Roserade here makes it so all your Cynthia's Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active.
I don't know how to feel about the Garchomp. I mean, a big part of this as well is the tool card that gives your Cynthia's Pokemon plus 70 HP. We see this,
So much HP.
yeah, we see this build specifically also has Hero's Cape, so we're looking at like 30 more. That feels like weird to waste your ace spec on 30 more HP, but maybe it lines up in a certain matchup. Um, but I mean, this is one of those things, and I think we said this about Charizard when it was coming out. It didn't look great. We were like, seems fine, but we're like, the stats are high. And it's like once the stats get high enough, something is just going to be good. I feel like that might be the same thing for Garchomp here. Um, and also like I haven't seen a ton of it, but like, so the problem with Garchomp, of course, is the energy because you're basically living off manual attachments. You have no acceleration,
Yeah.
so you're doing the 100, and then does the second attack discard your energy, or what does it do again? You
Yeah, it
can't attack next turn.
discards all energy attached to it.
Okay, yeah. So you do the big 260 for a big one hit KO with the Roserade buffs, and then you're down to 0 energy and play again. I saw some lists with like Power Glass, which was interesting.
This
But
deck should definitely have Neo Upper as its A spec, I feel like.
wait, yeah, what the heck? Wait, you're kind
Ne
of cooking there, Chip.
Neo Upper's gotta be broken.
Yeah, well, finding it could be tough though. I guess that's the only thing.
Sure.
But I don't hate the Neo Upper. Also, I don't hate like some Turros in here, so you can just like reset your Garchomp and then attach again and then attack. But I'm definitely excited to. This is definitely one that I feel like has some. It's not going to be a very exciting deck to watch play, but I think it has potential for sure because it's just big numbers, right? Big HP, big damage for low energy cost.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at with that one.
Here's one with 4 Monkey Dory
Of
in the deck.
course,
Oh
don't
my
forget,
goodness.
and for
Wait,
Crispin.
Crispin. Yo, hold up. That's how you can get your Energy Excel.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you would need to play a second type, which I guess works because you have Monkey Dory.
Yeah.
You don't even have Roserade in here though. That feels kind of bad.
Well, but Monkey Dory is our Roserade,
Okay,
right?
Chip's
Ki
cooking there,
kind of.
kind of.
This one does
It
have
is
the Power Glass, which is a card you mentioned.
it's a trolley, which is like a cool trolley decks are always cool. Say that. Got the
Dude, you
Shaman
are
on there for bench
obsessed
protection.
with Trolley as a
It's just a
card.
sick card. It lets you play you fit so much more into your deck when you play trolley. You get like plus 4 spots, 3 to
Yeah,
4
like
spots.
you can play so much, like 4 Gibble and 4 Monkey Dory.
And there's 4 Crispin in here, bro.
Okay.
Gotta fit it somehow.
True.
Um, it is nice to see. Actually, when we are seeing the Shaman pop up in a couple of these decks, I said this earlier on my stream. The design of Shaman has me really excited for the future. Obviously, like there's a lot of Terra Pokemon right now, so Snipes. If you have Shaman plus Terra Pokemon, Snipes aren't going to be that prevalent against that deck, anyways. But nothing, no new Terras are coming out, so they're going to slowly start to get cycled out. So like just the way they design Shaman, I'm really excited for. I think we'll probably have another bench barrier card after Shaman, but I like that they're willing to get creative and put some limitations on it, and not have it kind of be a catch-all.
Are you ready for this one?
Ooh, one of your favorites.
The
Okie
Quad
dokie.
Okie Dokie deck. Wait, why is this one of my favorites? I've never
Oh,
claimed this to be one of my favorites.
I just thought you were like a fan.
I mean, I'm down, he's a cool guy. I'm not gonna hate, but like, bro,
Why
this
is this
deck
one of
has
my
2
favorite?
Surfer in it.
Yeah, the surfers are questionable for sure. There's no energy accelerator. What do we have before energy? No, we have energy stickers still. What do we have? Is that what we
Uh,
had before with this?
what, Gutsy Pickaxe?
No, but we didn't play that. I think it was energy sticker. That
Was it
card is still.
just the sticker?
Is this illegal?
There's EXP share,
Yeah, there's
but
EXP shares
yes,
in here.
energy sticker is still legal, yes.
Okay, so we could still put those in here if we really wanted to. But yeah, I guess you could just live off EXP shares as well. Doesn't seem terrible.
That's an
Wonder.
interesting one. Lots of Archaludon decks, and there's a few different ways it looks like here. Oh, it's another Poison Archaludon. Hold up. Is this a deck, Azul? Is this a deck?
No, it is. Yeah, it is. As I said, people were talking to me about it in my chat. We're like, "Yeah, have you seen? What do you think about it?" I was like, "I don't know. I haven't seen what it looks like." Then I saw it, and I was like, "I hate this.
Holy.
I hate what I'm looking at here." But it is a deck. It literally is just like budget.
Well,
Badoo Terrapagos.
post rotation, maybe this is better because we don't have
Oh,
double
yeah,
turbo
no.
energy,
Well,
right?
yeah, I think it is for sure, yeah, it is, like, the better way to play the deck. Or, like, a similar deck, but, like
The perilous jungle is so funny.
dude, imagine playing 4 Perilous Jungle in your deck. That is
Oh,
just
hold on. We got a Mamoswine deck. Oh, and the Blaziken.
and not playing the Garganackle, which is what I've seen for the most part. They're going with the Blaziken.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Blaziken is maybe just a little bit better, right? Or it just gives you more options. It's bigger, right?
It also has less retreat cost. Garganackle has, like, 4 retreat cost.
He's a thick boy for sure.
Yeah, maybe Blaziken is the move in this deck. The question is just, like, is the deck even good to begin with? Which, I don't know, it's tough. I'm not sure, to be honest. I really like it. I think it's really sick. The Mamoswine's super, super sick, but, I think it'll be tough for it to
Is
compete.
this thing coming out in Journey Together?
Yep.
Let's go, bro. I'm
But
super
that is
down.
a that is gonna still be a format where Grass Ogre Pawn is still pretty prevalent with Terra Box and Raging Bolt, but maybe once we get Heatwind, little things will change.
This thing's in Journey Together, isn't it?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Well, this is your answer to Ogre Pawn.
I don't know if you win that trade, but maybe. We don't have Shaman then either, so they're still gonna be water pawning you.
Yeah, that is true. The water pawn is pretty scary. That
Although they're
is,
not even playing Shaman. Although maybe the fear of Shaman has stopped people from playing water pawn.
I
So,
mean, yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much of that deck really
yeah.
in a lot of these tournaments. But one thing, yeah, where there's a bunch of our Chalodon decks, it seems like Hops double our Chalodon is definitely been a way people have been playing this deck.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about that earlier, is that this deck wishes that Pokestop was still legal. Imagine being able to, like, Pokestop, thin out your deck, and you just Night Stretcher gives you everything. Night Stretcher's a boss. Like, that would be insane.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's still pretty good though, I think. Like, Hops Double, like, a Gust Effect from Evolving is, like, still pretty powerful, and we've seen it be pretty powerful historically. I mean, Luxray GL Level X, I think, is the main one people who played back then would think about with the Bright Look ability, which is the exact same thing as Luxray or as Double, basically.
yeah,
And then more recently than that, I can't even think of one actually to be oh, Lycanroc, right?
yeah,
Lycanroc.
yeah, yeah. Mr. Buzzrock over here
Yeah.
can't remember Lycanroc.
Lycanroc had that exact same ability, was a pretty good card. And
Bloodthirsty eyes. Yep.
yeah.
There was an old
Uh,
Umbreon EX that had this ability that was
yep.
really not played that much, but it played a little bit, right, in decks that played some of the other evolutions.
Then there was a Ninetales as well, right? That was played with
Yep, yep,
what was it with the Hypnotoxic Laser Ninetales deck? Ninetales
yep.
Amoonguss? Is that what it
Ninetales
was?
Amoonguss, that's right. That's one of my favorite Legacy decks, and it was Ninetales Amoonguss back when Legacy was a thing on TCG Online.
I do remember that. It is kinda interesting that that happened, to be honest, because Legacy was like a fake format, basically. Like, it was not a real format. It was a format you could only play on PTCGO.
Yes.
It was
And there
interesting.
was never any new sets or anything that came out. It was like this they were like, We're supporting this format that exists. All the cards are already legal, go have fun."
Yeah, definitely an interesting that that did happen the way it did. But, yeah, we've had the Bright Look, Gust, evolve a Pokemon to Gust ability on a stage 1, quite a bit to the Pokemon
Ye
TCG.
Historically a pretty good ability, for sure.
Yeah. So far, and it does. I think it does synergize pretty well with our Chalodon because our Chalodon is a super self-sufficient Pokemon. Doesn't need a whole lot, so you can spend resources to go get the doubles. You have bench space as well. Our Chalodon isn't a super bench, especially now that you're not trying to set up Dialga anymore because it's rotated. You're not super bench reliant, so plenty of bench space for your doubles. Like I said, it does feel like this deck was wishes that Pokestop was still legal, but I think it'll still be able to make do.
Yeah, definitely still seems solid. Still several Raging Bolts, it feels like, doing decently at these events. Raging
Yeah,
Bolt
that,
Noctowl with the go wide Area Zero deck.
yep, those are still floating around.
In Zoark, still popping up every once in a while. This deck definitely has, I would say, underperformed to what people hoped when we saw the reveal from this card at Worlds.
Yeah, I think once we assuming that these were all the cards we are gonna get for it, which now we know this is, like, all the cards we're gonna get for it, basically. It was like, "Oh, this deck's, like, doesn't seem that good." But
Yeah.
yeah,
It
when it was one of
definitely
the big cards they revealed at Worlds, I think a lot of people thought, including myself, that it was gonna be a bigger
and this This deck has to get much worse when Shaman comes out.
Oh yeah, almost certainly for sure. I don't
Yeah.
even know how it exists. It would be one of those decks that maybe like waits for people to cut Shaman because there's no snipe Pokemon being played, which is kind of
And
like where we are right now, to be honest, in the current
I
format.
wanted to look at this Charizard deck because Charizard, I mean, we've talked about it many times, right? How it's like just such a strong card, right? It does everything. Um, it's so weird that like this card exists in our format and it's like not that good right now, because it like just does everything. But Dragapult is so tough to deal with. So if there's ever like just not that much Dragapult, I feel like this card does this deck has to do super well until like almost everything else.
Yeah, and we do see Dragapult. Like if you look at the results from these city leagues, Dragapult does look as like look like it's being pretty successful, but it did lose a lot more than most decks, I would say, to rotation. Doesn't have Lance, doesn't have V Pokemon or Force Seal Stone to work with. I think, and I kind of just hope. I don't know. I haven't thought about it too hard, but I hope that Dragapult doing well at City Leagues is just like Dragapult doing well at City Leagues when Dragapult first came out, and it's actually just bad. But over in Japan, they're still just playing it
Why the heck
at a
does this
very high
guy have a
rate.
Gravity Mountain in his Charizard deck?
Maybe so you can like punch something and then Gravity Mounting knocks it out. I mean, it helps Charizard KO faster, right?
Maybe KOs and
Typically,
like mirror matches are against Dragapult, I guess,
yeah.
like a turn earlier.
Those would be the big ones.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm hoping that Dragapult's actually just bad because that deck's kind of boring.
And one more thing I did want to mention because I see it looks like three in the new format have won City Leagues, and this is a name I haven't heard in quite some time, and that is the Future Box deck, Iron Hands, Miraidon with the Iron Crown.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot, not just about. I've been thinking mostly about Iron Hands going into the next format, even as soon as like Atlanta with Journey Together. This is like a format separated from that. Um, and it's probably just because I've been playing so much Miraidon recently. But Miraidon doesn't seem terrible. But when I thought about it further, I was like, Future Hands is literally just Miraidon. Like you don't have Force Seal Stone to abuse. You don't have Raichu to use. So Iron Hands does what Iron Hands does in Miraidon, and it also does exactly what Miraidon does in Future Hands. So I think Future Hands could be good again for sure. Because I don't know, a lot of people have a lot of things on their bench that Iron Hands just KOs, and then they have a lot of other things like Ogre Pawns and stuff that get KO'd by Arm Press. So I think the Iron Hands could be back. We'll see. Its Dragapult matchup probably isn't great, but they usually have a lot of liabilities on the
I don't
bench. I don't
know.
know.
It's probably fine because you can pretty easily go like KO a Dreepy with Miraidon, right?
Yep.
Then you can KO like you can definitely take 4 prizes with an Iron Hands EX
Yeah, or you could take 2 and then
just
2-hit KO a Dragapult for
for
3.
3. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it might be there. The prize lineup might be there, to be honest. Um, and it's like kind of naturally has like a way to deal with Badoo as well, right? Because even if you go first, you get your first attachment down, then you go peak acceleration plus attach into attach plus capsule
It's gotta be
both
worth playing
hands.
Pheasantipity in this deck, right?
Um, I don't know. You don't have a lot of bench space, but in this build specifically, there's just like 2 Mew hanging out. So
Really valuing
maybe
that pivot, I guess, but,
I
like,
think you.
everything in your deck is a pivot with,
Well,
Future Capsule.
I think you value Mew higher because of the Dragapult matchup, because Dragapult doesn't take KOs, so you want draw power under Iono while they're just not KOing anything. And maybe other matchups play out similarly, so that's why you play it like this.
Sure.
But yeah, I think there's like whether it be Miraidon or Future Hands just seems like better Miraidon at this point. Like I said, because the explosive potential of Miraidon is so much less because you don't have Force Seal Stone is the big thing to find like another generator on that first turn.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be just going like attack with Tapu Koko or pass as Miraidon, you may as well attack with your baby Miraidon in Future Hands and set up your Iron Hands. So seems like the better way to play Iron Hands moving forward for sure.
And then maybe one more thing to look at would just be some of these Gardevoir lists because Gardevoir, hey, no more good Curlia. Gardevoir's still got a pretty good ability on it, so
Yeah, and most of the builds are like relying on research and more research, more Ionos. We see this list here. Has Arvin still, but only 2, and isn't even playing TM Evo, going on the rare candy route. And almost every list that I've seen is like 3 rare candy, 2 Curlia, which I think is fine. But can we get a 4th rare candy in these decks? Like, even for like, I understand 2 Curlia because you want to be able to deal with Badoo. But if we're not playing a TM Evo, if we're playing Arvins, that also
Dude,
kinda confuses me.
we just need to make the optimized cut right now. Gardevoir the Gardevoir players are gonna hate this, but it's true because Gardevoir is the new Tapu Bulu Vikavolt. Gardevoir is Vikavolt. Let's just cut the Charger Bugs. Get the Charger Bugs out of there. No Curlias. 303 Gardevoir with
How
4
do you
rare
hold on.
candy.
How do you have to deal with Badoo, though? Badoo is
Okay,
a
you
1
know, we
Kirlia.
can attach 2 times to Drifloon and
We could
knock it
slap. We
out.
can slap him with Screamtail.
We can slap him with Screamtail. There are many ways. Badoo, I don't care about Badoo. You can Psy Shot with Ralts, dude.
Oh,
Badoo's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
We have 2 Monkey Dory in our deck.
Alright, we might be able to put it together. Dude, that is so funny to hear, like, "Alright, we have to just we are Vikabulu." Honestly, though, you're
Gardevoir is a
right.
Vikavolt, our Mew-EX and our Clefairy are our Bulu, you know?
Oh, what about Drifloon? It's not the Boo Drifloon's not Boo
Drifloon
here?
Drifloon is, what is that guy? Didn't people play like a Delmise or something in the deck, you know, at one point? Drifloon's the
Did they?
Delmise.
Okay, okay. Drifloon's a Delmise, alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Guardy still seems to be alive, and honestly, it could be at the same power level that it's at. In the current format, Guardy's not that good. Guardy's, like, very much fine. It could be just as good, in Journey Together and this next format after that.
Imagine being
Although
someone who's started playing in the last, like, 3, 4 years, and they're like, "Well, dude, what the heck are these guys talking about? What is a Vikabulu?"
the real ones know.
The real ones know.
What a deck, bro. It was one of the biggest meme decks that wasn't actually terrible.
It was
It
it
like,
was
it
pretty good. It was like
wasn't that good. It was like but it was funny though because it was kinda like a community-wide meme. The deck was like a
yes.
community-wide meme. Um, even the Bulu believers, I feel like knew deep down that their deck was trash. Um,
Wait, didn't you play it to a tournament?
I did play it at a tournament. Portland regionals, I don't know, 20 something.
Let's see. Did you make day 2?
No.
Okay, so it's not gonna be on here.
Firms the deck's trash.
Well, I'll pick someone who I know did play it. Peter Kika. Let's see
Yeah.
it.
I think he got top 8. Oh, he maybe lost the one in
At
it.
that tournament?
Mhm. He was close. He was definitely in day
Oh, right
2.
here. Portland. Yep,
Ooh,
10th
close.
place.
There we go.
Oh, Alex Hill got top 8 of that tournament
That's
with it.
right, yeah.
Vika Bulu, bro.
Miserable experience. The deck was fine. The deck was very fine.
Oh man. Were
Honestly, there
these
was
the
just
counts?
yeah.
7-5 for the energy? Why do we need that many lightning energy?
Because Vikavolt only accelerates a grass and a lightning.
Right, but like
Yeah.
okay.
You need the energy in there. You could have maybe gone one less lightning, I guess, possibly, because you do need manually attach the grass, right?
Dude, look at how close this is to just being the Gardevoir deck.
Well, except for the attacking lineup. I think you're gassing it a little bit here, Chip.
Nah, dude, it's
Also, Guardi's
Gardevoir.
well, I guess you also attacked with Vikavolt in this deck quite a bit. Like, it wasn't you didn't do it, like, every game, but it wasn't rare.
I'm gonna tweet this out tomorrow. Corporate wants you to find the difference between these 2 pictures.
Dude, you are gassing this so hard, bro. Do we have N back then? We did have
We
N.
did have N.
Okay. Arvin's
Why
and
is this guy
Skylas.
playing Explorer's Guidance? Is this a thing? Are people playing Explorer's Guidance?
This this is the only list I've seen with the Explorer's Guide. Most people had Blender as well, but it seems like in the
I
Journey Together list, there was most of them had Brilliant Blender as the A spec, but these ones are going the unfair stamp route.
yeah.
Most of these have the unfair stamp.
Any other City League decks you think we should take a look at?
I'll click on a couple tournaments to see if there's anything in the top 8, top 16s.
Random tournament.
Cargo.
Oh, Mag Cargo. Hold up. I'm glad you told us to stick around. And this is exactly what we were talking about, dude.
Yes, no, they
N-
just don't play any of the
It's
Typhlosion.
the Ethan's deck, no Typhlosion. And
We were
Mag
right,
Cargo
bro.
is just the guy.
Yeah, we were right. We were right the whole time.
I can see this being pretty good. I mean, Ho-Oh's ability is nuts, dude. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Cargo hits pretty hard. Like,
And he scoots around the board, bro. He's fast. He's got 0 energy. Like
yeah, he's scooting, bro. He's scooting.
he's scooting all over, bro. You get the Mela in there for a little extra acceleration. So you can go like Ethan's attach Mela. Boom, boom, boom.
I guess I'd probably just play I'd rather like play a fourth Ho-Oh, I guess.
What's this guy do again? Your Iris Draw 2 of 6 in
Yeah.
your hand.
I've seen a couple decks be playing that instead of research. It's kind of like it's like a decent heavy draw supporter or potentially heavy, but like people are playing it instead of like a one of research. Like a lot of the Pidgeot decks were playing like one Iris. So you like if Arvin doesn't do enough, but you don't want to Iono your opponent, or you've already drawn too many prize cards for Iono to matter, but you don't want to play research because it discards your whole hand. I've seen quite a few irises in lists. Um,
I'm
anything else?
interested to see what'll
Oh,
happen
the
with, like,
tank.
Terapagos decks post-rotation without double turbo energy.
This is
Obviously,
it.
we just gotta go to Trumpet Crispin builds, right?
Yeah, Monkey Dory. Your tank, you got the boofs. This is what Pokemon wanted. They wanted every Terrapagos deck to be playing 2 Bouffalant. Well, now you play 3 because you don't have Heavy Ball, but
Can't prize them.
it's actually crazy how much lists have changed. There's so many more 2 ofs that you just don't want to play 2 of because
Yeah,
everyone is playing so heavily around prize cards, which I wonder if is like a some of the lists that I saw, it felt like an overcorrection. It was like, you just gotta take an L sometimes or just play a tough game, like but yeah, it seems like everyone is, like, playing pretty heavily around prize cards,
there are
with the lack
people
of heavy ball.
there are people who have never experienced playing Pokemon without Hisuian Heavy Ball in the format.
That's true, that's true. They're all gonna be playing exchange ticket. They're like, "Man, I can't do this, man. I can't handle this. Just put the ticket in there just in case."
Azul, what replaces Hisuian Heavy Ball post-rotation?
Get me out of here.
Oh,
Um,
hold up. One last thing.
Grimmsnarl.
The Grim Snarl. I gotta remind
Dude,
myself what this
this
thing does. 180, 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and then its ability when
insane ability.
you search your deck for 5 basic dark energy attachment to your Marnie's Pokemon. I mean, yeah,
Dude,
that ability is insane.
so actually, I was talking about this. I forget who I was talking about it with, but um, as far as I can tell, there's probably we're only getting 2 owner sets. We're getting this set and next set, and then we get megas. So, and we could get megas plus owners. I guess that's possible. But
We could get
honestly,
Mega Owners Pokemon.
also you could get that. But overall, if we don't, owners were kind of a letdown overall. Like I feel like the biggest one was Zorark, and it's whatever. You have broken abilities on Grimmsnarls, on Marnie's Grimmsnarl, and it's just like nothing to go with it. The ability's insane. One of the best abilities ever is on this Grimmsnarl, right? Obviously, it's limited to Marnie's Pokemon, but limited to like a certain type would be like the same thing, whatever. There's nothing to go with it. Like, I don't know, it's just pretty big disappointment. I feel like owners Pokemon have been a pretty big disappointment, and it looks like they're just gonna be a disappointment. I guess we don't know the rocket stuff we're getting yet. Um, but from what
Yeah,
we've
dude.
seen, it feels pretty
Giovanni's
bad.
Mewtwo, like, for sure is gonna be broken.
Okay, so yeah, we could. I guess there could still, but the thing is, then it's just like one owner's Pokemon was broken, and all of the rest of them kind of suck. But stuff does kind of come around in the Pokemon TCG. Crispin went from like this card seems pretty good, play a little bit of it. Rotation hits, it's like a 4 of in a lot
Dude,
of decks, right?
I
So
said Crispin was insane from the beginning.
I don't remember that, but
Someone find the clip. I definitely
it
when
took a
Crispin
while
was
for it
revealed.
to ramp up for sure. But it is a good card, right? It was always a decent card. I don't think anyone thought that card was bad, but um yeah, hopefully owners Pokemon do come around at some point, and some of them are a little bit better. I think Steven's Metagross still seems kind of good.
Mm,
And actually they do have it, right? Don't
I'm
they
pretty
have? I
sure
think.
they do.
Well, apparently it's not gross enough to make a top 16 in a league or a city league.
A
I've
League
heard.
Cup.
No, that's not Metagross. I literally thought I saw it when you clicked on that one.
We got Hydrapple, though.
Oh, click on the bottom deck actually.
Hydrapple Sinistra, of course.
Roaring Moon lives.
Roaring Moon hanging on.
It got the E switch. You can set up a Roaring Moon in one turn.
Dude, if you have to, like, if you click through these city leagues and looked at, like, every single deck, you definitely could find some, like, some vile entries of, like, archetypes that just should not exist, or, like, the way people have played I mean, it's like it would be like if you looked at the top 16 of every league cup in the country of the United States, right? Like,
And if you go back to, you don't have to go back to it, but just looking at that Roaring Moon list, like everything was a 2 Petron, two Brute Bonnet, 2 Squawkabilly. Like I don't know if it's an overcorrection because we don't have heavy ball anymore, or maybe that might just be the correct way to play things. It's like 2 of everything.
you know.
Okay, abusing the Crispin a little bit here. Power Glass.
All right, that's fine. Let's move on from the new sets. Again, we're in this kind of weird spot where it's like this new set is out in Japan, but we're getting Journey Together now. Like people are had pre-releases. Did you go to a pre-release this time around?
No, I did not make my way to a pre-release.
I didn't go either. There's one here tomorrow, but it low key might already be sold out. I probably couldn't go anyway, but pre-releases are fun. I wish I had had a chance to go this past weekend. Um, but yeah, we can go ahead and move on to guess that flavor text. But of course, before we do, we've got to take a moment to thank our fantastic sponsor, Dragon Shield, for supporting us here at the Uncommon Energy Podcast. Of course, Dragon Shield makes the best tabletop gaming and card gaming products on the market. We love them for the sleeves and the deck boxes, all those things. They actually sent us both. Did you get your decree in the mail, Azul? Did you see this?
I did, yeah.
Hear ye, hear ye. News from the Dragon's Forge has arrived. I'm gonna cut it there, but I appreciate the effort that goes into these things. But there's a brand new colors coming out. I started off the episode by talking about Clemson. So how fitting the new sleeve colors are purple and orange, Clemson's university colors. We got the amber and the amethyst matte sleeves. I haven't opened my boxes yet. I'm saving it for the right moment. Have you busted yours out yet?
I have not, no, but I'm probably gonna be bringing both of them with me to the Atlanta, I guess. I was gonna say the next tournament I go to, so it'll be Atlanta. Bring them with to try them out there. But yeah, I like specifically, I'm a big fan of the orange ones. I did like the tangerine ones. They had tangerine mats as well. So fond of the orange colored sleeves.
Yeah, very much looking forward to busting these out and putting them on a deck. So if you want to pick up the brand new amber or amethyst color matte sleeves, be sure to do so by clicking the link in our description that can take you straight to the product page. And then also use the code UEPOD to get yourself 5% off on all of your purchases. Also, any purchase you make using the links will help to support us here at the podcast. Thanks so much to Dragon Shield, as always, for sponsoring the Uncommon Energy Podcast.
All right, and Chip up next. You got guess that flavor text this turn or this week. It's my turn to pick a card for you to try and guess which Pokemon belongs to that card by reading the flavor text. And if you get it right without using a single lifeline, you'll get 4 points. And then for each lifeline you use, it will be one less point. The lifelines are what set the card is from, what stage the card is, and then read an attack name on the card. Are you ready for this week's flavor text, Chip?
I hope so. Yeah. We're currently sitting at 32 to 29. Shout outs to Tim in Games for keeping track of the spreadsheet for us every single week. They probably wouldn't have to be doing that much keeping track though for the last month or so, because or what,
Yeah.
3 months or so. It's
Dude,
been
it's been a
rough.
while. All
Here we
right,
go.
Chip. Here we go. It lives in frigid regions in pods of 5 or so individuals. It loves the minerals found in snow and ice.
Okay. So I'm thinking some sort of ice type or ground type or rock type, something along these lines. Living in the mountains, snowy regions, minerals as well. Let me hear the flavor text again.
It lives in frigid regions in pods of 5 or so individuals. It loves the minerals found in snow and ice.
Okay. So what one of the things I'm kind of thinking of right now is playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet whenever you're going through like the snowy regions. The like Pokemon spawn in the overworld in that game, and there will be like little groups of 5 Pokemon spread throughout. And some of the Pokemon in the snowy regions that you'll see is like there's really one of the main ones that's coming to mind right now is like Snowrunt. There's also Sneasel as well as another one. But I will need to use some lifelines here. That's just kind of so those are some of the things I'm first thinking of. There's also like Cubchoo. Um, but yeah, for the minerals, I don't really know. That's kind of the tricky part here. Let me have you read an attack name. Let's start with that this time.
Tackle.
Come on, bro. What set is the card from?
Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet base set. Okay, so Paldean Pokemon. Okay, could it be Satotl then? Satotl, I guess. Would make sense. Snowy regions. I guess it could be Satitan, but I don't know that Satitan has tackle as an attack. That's like very much a basic Pokemon attack. Let me just have you tell me what stage the card is, just in case.
It is a basic.
I mean, Satotl seems like a pretty good guess to me. Snowy regions, icy regions, the minerals. So Titan is a Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. I'm pretty sure, right? Yes, it has to be. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna lock it in. Let's go with Satotl.
No! Dude, who guesses Satano? I thought
Let's
this one would be
go.
impossible for you to get. I was like, I saved it in my little folder for links on Chrome. I
Oh,
was like,
let's go,
there's no one
dude.
guesses Satotl, bro. That's insane. I thought you were gonna get 2 points as well at the end there because I thought you just wouldn't even ask the stage. Because yeah, do non-basic Pokemon have tackle? I
I
don't
don't
think
know, dude.
so.
I just didn't want to risk it, man. I just needed to get on the board. I just I needed some points, bro. I haven't had any
Uh,
points. What are we doing? We're doing episode 149 right now. The last time I scored any points in this series was episode 127.
a
30
while ago.
Wait, how many episodes is 22 episodes? 20 Wow, 25 episodes ago. Over 25 episodes ago. That's crazy. 27 episodes. Man, math is hard this late.
Oh, dude, that is so.
22.
I thought this would be a lock. I just thought it would be a lock. I was like, there's no way anyone guesses Satotl. There's no way you get to Satotl.
Buddy,
Got there.
I caught a random shiny Citadel playing Scarlet and Violet.
Is that what made you think of Satotl?
Well, it's one of the Pokemon you see in the snowy regions of Paldea, kind of flying around, in
Oh,
groups
no.
of 5.
Did you ever run into 5 Satotl?
Yeah, of
Chilling?
course, all the time. That's where I found my shiny. I was flying by and I was like, that one looks like it's a little different than the rest of the crew.
All right. Well, Chip, you walk away with a point in this week's Guess That flavor text. Um, but enough of that. Congratulations, yada yada. We got a major tournament coming up this weekend, Stockholm Regional Championships, which I actually won last season, but I won't be going back there this season. I will be co-streaming it though. Gonna wake up bright and early, 3 a.m. my time. I think the stream starts at 2:45 West Coast. I did the thing. I looked up earlier, Pokemon.com/broadcast.
Yeah, bro.
um,
245.
yeah, so I think I could probably safely wake up at 3, shower real fast, and then they'll probably be starting round. They start at round. Dude, why is that different? In Europe, they start on round 3. Wait, they start at round 4 here in America, right? North America, usually.
Usually, but we started round 3 and oh, I can tell you why. It's because they don't have 9 rounds day 1.
Oh, in Europe, they always start on round 3. Oh, but that might be
Because
why.
they have
'Cause
8 rounds day 1.
because they never have 9 rounds.
Yep. So it's the same amount of rounds being streamed.
Oh, okay, that does make sense. No, but I feel like even
And
last
that's why we started streaming with round 3 in Vancouver.
no, but even like before last season, before this change, they still started a round earlier in
Maybe.
Europe.
I
They
don't
did,
know.
yeah. I do.
Allegedly,
I remember.
allegedly.
No, I remember. I remember. I was there. I saw it. Um, yeah, excited to do some more watch party and restreaming the Stockholm Regional Championships. Won't be there to defend my title, but maybe next season if they have it, we'll see. So I'll be doing that Saturday and Sunday this week. And yeah, just kind of excited to watch some more Pokemon. It is this format, but even then, I'm still excited for it. We'll have a week off before with Brisbane, but then we'll be getting some new stuff with Yagi after that. But yeah, so there's some things to talk about, I guess, as far as the tournament goes. Where do you want to start, Chip?
Yeah, I mean, I think the place to start with the tournament and with this format has got to be with Dragapult, right? It's definitely the most popular deck. Definitely the best deck. I mean,
Yep.
it just did really well in tournaments last weekend, winning Vancouver, winning Fortaleza, dominating both of those events as well as far as meta share placement. Um, yeah, it's just Dragapult. So, I mean, is there really anything that can slow down the potential of Dragapult's success?
Yeah. I feel like probably not overall. I feel like if it existed, we would have found it.
I think
'Cause,
I think there are things that can beat Dragapult solidly. Like I think Archaludon Dialga has a very good Dragapult matchup.
I don't think it's that I think it's closer than
I think it's a pretty solidly favored matchup for Archaludon, but Archaludon has a ton of other problems, right?
Yeah, I still think it's not even that close, to be honest. Or I think it's closer than that, like maybe 60-40 in Archidon's favor, um, which isn't that big of a boost, of an increase in the number. Yeah, like you said, it's got Archidon has many other problems that keeps it from being like a top deck in the format overall, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like I mean people are trying. People got like 3 Monkey Dory in their Gardevoir decks. People got the Golden Go's got the Monkey Dory. I feel like Golden Go kind of came out of EUIC kind of like if to me it felt a little bit like leaving EUIC was like, oh, Golden Go is kind of like the Dragapult killer, or it's like it's a good deck that actually has a good Dragapult matchup. But I don't think it's that good. I mean, I think we saw how you can kind of I think Hedrick displayed how you can kind of dismantle the deck with Dragapult Dusknoir specifically. I think Dragapult no Dusknoir would have a little bit tougher of a time.
Well, Lucas should have won, right?
um, should he have?
I thought so. At the end of game two, uh,
I thought he made a mistake.
wasn't I thought? Hang on, let me see if we can pull it up. We could actually just like review and talk about it if we wanted to.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Um,
I didn't think it was like that cut and dry, but I feel like he probably should have put Pheasant Dippity in play on the last turn instead of putting down like double Gimme Ghoul. Unless he had to put down double Gimme Ghoul to even be able to have a Golden Goal on the next turn. I don't remember exactly. He maybe had to put down 2 Gimme Ghouls,
so
or he's just gonna get board wiped.
let's see.
We saw Hedrick do that against 2 Golden Goes in Top Cut. It was basically just board wipe the Golden Goes for
I
like
couldn't
6 prize
find it at
turns or something
first.
ridiculous. Oh yeah, I'm not as confident in that deck's matchup against Dragon Ball Dusknoir. I feel like the non-Dusknoir build is a little bit different, but I guess speaking to that, the card that I feel like is pretty strong against Golden Go as Dragapult to include if you're not playing Dusknoir is the Defiance Vest, which you've been
Okay,
seeing Vinny and Gabriel play.
so I think it was this turn right here. So what Lucas did here is he night stretchered for this metal energy to attack with the
More
Golden
damage.
Go. But what he could have done and should have done was he should have just gotten back darkness energy and just healed this Golden Go. So it's impossible for Hedrick to take 4 prizes.
Oh, was that a play that was a well? There's 9 on the bench. How's there 9 on the bench? Am I no? There shouldn't be 9 on the no. How's there 30 on the active?
Hang on. There's 30 on the bench, and then it goes 200 plus 60 to the bench. Okay, then Lucas does his turn here.
Could he have
He
gotten
does
to the
get
bench Golden
Fez.
Go?
No, no, no. He didn't have to attack here. He didn't have to attack here. He's got 3 prizes, and there's
Oh, yeah, I
Badoo in play.
remember.
So if he literally he could KO Badoo here. He doesn't have to though. He can just put the 30 with the Monkey Dory, put it somewhere else.
Mhm. Oh, I see
Hedrick
what you're
can't do
saying.
anything, and then next turn he can go take 2 prizes plus KO Badoo. With
Wait, why oh, because there's no Duskull in play.
there's no Duskull in
Mm,
play. Yeah.
yeah, okay, I guess that you so you just move 30 off the active
Yeah.
to the
And then it's
Dragapult.
impossible for Hedrick to take 4 prizes.
Okay, yeah, I didn't actually see this game play out. I only saw game 3, I think, actually. Now looking back on this, I think I only saw game 3.
This is what I remember seeing in the moment as,
Yeah.
like, the missed opportunity, I felt like.
Yeah, just chill. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. That definitely is. I don't know where it would go from here for sure,
Because
but
we know he just got the darkness energy from the superior, and then he plays the stretcher and gets the monkey here. That's what it is. He like plays the stretcher and gets the monkey. And so
mm,
it's like I almost wonder if he forgot he had attached or something. I don't think that's the case, but
and what happens after this? He gets Iono'd and then oh, both golden goals just die.
no, yeah, Hedrick just wins. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He just KOs it, and Hedrick has to find boss plus what's it called?
Yeah.
Boss plus Dragapult and has everything.
That definitely would have made things a lot
Oh yeah,
more
overall boss
interesting.
energy right there.
Yeah, if Lucas had done the other play, it would definitely have made things a lot more interesting. I feel like the response from Hedrick would have been
Iono.
Iona plus punch for 70. Like, don't knock it out so you don't give the Pheasant Dippity draw over or something, maybe.
Yeah.
But I guess then you leave the golden go in the well, that's like -1. Yeah, I guess maybe that'd be the play in response. I'm actually not sure.
Well,
Yeah, it's
well,
interesting. Yeah, I didn't see this game.
yeah.
I think it was also a pretty big mistake from the other Golden Go player Hedrick played against in top 8 or asymmetrical or whatever. They, like, could have Turoed plus Monkey Doried and not taken a prize card, but instead they chose to go all in for a prize card, and then Hedrick just won on the next turn. So it was actually kind of a similar situation. They could have gone, like, for a chill play where they go Turo plus Monkey Dory and just, like, hang out, and then don't take a knockout, and then next turn they go aggressive, but instead they went all in with a bunch of damage on their golden goes.
So all this to say, I'm really not super sure. Like, I gotta imagine it's like
I think it's favored for golden go, but I don't think it's as favored
you think
as I
it's
thought it
favored for
was.
Golden Go?
Yeah, yeah, but it's like 60-40 probably.
I think it's gotta
Uh,
be close for sure,
and it's
but
possible the Dustnor build is 50-50, and it's only the
yeah,
other build that's favored. But I don't know, like the Defiance Fest is a big deal for the other build, the non-Dustnor Dragapult. That's +1 energy that they need,
that
which
is
is kind of
true.
a lot. So if you go like Iono plus punch with Defiance Vest on the active and don't kill anything to give Pheasantipity draw, that could be tough to KO back. So um yeah. I mean I think as everything just kind of plays out more and more, there's no real answer for Dragapults. In fact, maybe the best deck up against Dragapult might be something like Stall, or some kind of control build, but those decks have other flaws. So I think the answer is Dragapults to beat IF. Probably the best play going into Stockholm. And I wouldn't be surprised if it wins the whole tournament for sure. I think that would be pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I'm gonna be personally interested to see, like, what some of the better European players choose to play to this event with Dragapult's kind of, like, stranglehold on
Dominance.
the format kind of
Yeah.
in place. Like, what's Stefan gonna play? What's Tord gonna play? Like, I'm gonna be really interested to kinda look at that and see, what kind of adaptations they make to the event post EUIC and post, Vancouver.
Although some pretty good players keep telling me that they think Gardevoir is favored against Dragapult, but we have just not seen that in the results. I feel like at all.
Yeah,
So
no.
I don't think I believe them. I think they're capping.
They probably they beat all the bad Dragapult
Dude,
players.
so many people base. I feel like this is maybe this is like a next stage in the evolution of people. So many people just base their meta percentages based off what they play on. Which like there is some truth to like utilizing that as a benchmark for how good you think a matchup is or how well you think you'll do against it at a tournament is like, oh, I destroy this deck on ladder. So like against the average player, I'm going to beat them 70% of the time. When in reality, when you play up against a good player, they beat you 70% of the time.
Yeah.
So like I don't like using that as too I think you can only do that. It depends like how high of a caliber of player you expect on average to play a deck. You can sometimes factor that into kind of like your meta prediction. Like I think no top players are going to play something like a good deck. The deck to probably call out with that would be like Lugia, right?
Or,
Very few
like,
like
in
top
the last
players play
format, like
Lugia.
Raging Bolts.
Yeah, that'd be a good one as well. Very few well above average players play Raging Bolt, right? There's a lot of well above average players who play Guard 4 consistently, format to format, right? So you'd want to be more prepared, have a better understanding of the Gardevoir matchup, and truly know if it's played well on both sides what the outcome is on average compared to something like a Raging Ball you don't care as much about. But yeah, I think a lot of players just use their PTCG Live ladder win rates as, oh yeah, this matchup's like at 80-20, like all my other matchups. But yeah, like I think that kind of bites some people in like the long run of a tournament. It's like, oh, you play up against a really good player playing the deck you think you're
Yeah.
80-20 against. In reality, they're 80-20 against you. And knowing that information beforehand might have led to a different deck choice, different tech choice as well. But that's really thinking in terms of like when your goal is truly just to win the tournament. That's when that kind of matters
Because
most,
you're
I
gonna
would
have
say
to
as
go
well.
through good players to win the tournament.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to go against really good
You
players.
can get to day 2 consistently. You can get
Yeah,
to top 64s and top 32s consistently with, that mindset of, like, yeah, my Gardevoir deck beats Dragapult, but, like, when you sit down across from Andrew Hedrick playing Dragapult,
yeah.
is
It's gonna be a little bit.
your win rate's not as high, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the win rate that matters, right? Because 'Cause you're trying to win the tournament.
Yeah. So that's always like a question that gets involved in that as well. It's like, what is your actual goal? But yeah, Dragon Ball's pretty good. And I guess we kind of already talked about this one as well with Golden Go. I think it definitely has proven itself though, right? It is, despite it not being the Dragapult killer that I kind of thought it was post UIC. I did so little playing of the format after UIC. It was one of the decks I wanted to like pick up and try out was the Golden Go deck. But I think it is favored against Golden Go, or Dragapult, even if it's just a little bit. But I think besides that, it's a pretty good deck. Like it's not just a one trick deck that's just here to beat Dragapult. It can stand up against most things. And I think the innovations we saw from the build that Lucas brought is a really good indication of what people will probably be bringing moving forward, and just kind of shows that the deck has a lot of depth to go a step further than just being a deck that beats Dragapult as well. Um, I think there's like some other stuff to still be seen. Like Caesar, like if you click on the 14th place list, The 2-2 Caesar list. Caesar popped up, got top 16 at EUIC as well, and then we see it here in Vancouver with a 2-2. Now I'm a notorious Caesar hater. I hate the card, but it shows there's a decent amount of depth to what you can bring in a
What does
Golden Go
Azul
deck.
hate more, Caesar or Dudunsparce? That's the real question.
Definitely Caesar, dude. It's not even close. Although it does get better, I feel like after rotation as an inclusion in Golden Go. In fact,
Mhm.
I even saw a list with Caesar EX because it's a way to deal with Ogrepon.
Okay, hold
Interesting.
up. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Um, yeah, Golden Go's here for sure. It'll probably be still like a 10% meta deck, I think, at Stockholm. It'll be in that range.
Well, something that's not been a very high percentage meta deck, and something that I think was a pretty big surprise last weekend was the Roaring Moon. And it was not the fact that it got just top eight in Vancouver, but it also got top eight in Fortaleza. So, do you think that there is some kind of momentum here behind this archetype? Like, will we see Roaring Moon? I mean, I don't think we're going to see it jump up super high in meta share, but are we going to see it be successful again this weekend too? Are we going to see someone make a top cut with it, top eight, top 16?
It's tough. I want to say no. Um, just because I think it has such a weak Gardevoir matchup. And even Lugia matchup can be tough as well. But it is weird that like it did, such a low percentage play deck, got top 8 at both the tournaments. So it kind of shows that there's maybe something there because I think it does kind of feed on like the Golden Go matchup is good, the Archaludon matchup is good. I think Lugia is like fine, but overall, like if Lugia sets up, you kind of just lose. I think it's kind of a whoever goes second is at the advantage matchup. But so that's like one of the things going in blind. You're gonna have the advantage against Lugia on average because they're gonna be choosing first, and you're gonna be choosing second probably most of the time. I think you definitely want to go second against Lugia to try and cheese them because if they get to go second, get down double Lugia, use read the win, stuff like that, you're in trouble. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say I don't. Yeah, I don't think Roaring Moon is real. I don't think it's real. Um, Fraud.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
calling
think
fraud.
it's one of these things where it's like it's a powerful deck, and so it's like if someone who's just dedicated a lot of time to it picks it up, hits decent enough matchups, plays well, someone can find success with it. I mean, it's similar to like gouging fire, right? Gouging fire. There's no reason that that deck should be super strong in the format, but it's like powerful, right? And so someone just rolls up, plays it, plays well, right set of circumstances fall, they'll make top cut with it. If it's like someone who's committed the time to it and is like it's like that's one of the things where it's like your preparation and practice with a deck will pay off, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
long as
It's
it's
it's definitely
powerful
not.
enough. You can't just you can't pick like mouse hold EX and be like,
I have 1,000 hours. I have 10,000 hours with Mousehold EX. I'm
yeah.
unstoppable, dude. Sometimes it is funny though that you bring that up for players. It definitely is players who are like newer to the game. It definitely sometimes when people ask me questions and the way they talk about the game, there's players out there who think that's like true or like believe like yeah, if you just put in the prep, if you're a good enough player, like you can become so good with a deck that you kind of ascend past the deck ceiling and can play it at like another level. Like it's not so much the deck, but it's the player. I feel like that's like a mindset that like that's something like I wonder what I used to think back when I first started playing the game. Like I feel like a lot of people when they don't truly understand the game at the Pokemon TCG well enough, like a lot of people think it's the player that matters way more than anything else. And a lot of people think it's the deck choice that matters way more than anything else. It's like, oh well, if I just had toward 60 that he played, I would have won this tournament too. But like I just didn't have it. But if I had it, I would have won this one. But it really is like a truly a mix of both to a pretty high degree. But
No matter how many hours you put in with mouse hold EX, he still will only do 120 damage.
yeah, and even if you have toward 60, you're probably not going to place as well as toward. Yeah, the mouse mouse does.
Maybe you will place as well as Tord if Tord was also playing Mouse Hold EX. That would be a funny thing to see. Like someone like yourself or Tord rolls up with like just a bad EX deck like that. How many round like if you built the best possible Mouse Hold EX deck that you could build, how many rounds do you think you would win at a regional championships?
I think I could win like three.
Probably.
Yeah,
But it
once
would
you
be
go
the
down,
last
like
I think it would be the last 3.
I don't know, once you're like 02, 03, you like you're kind of in the trenches there with like newer players and people bringing like meme shenanigans and stuff like that. So I
I
think
don't think I would give you a win until round 7. Round
What?
6. Round 6.
Oh my gosh. I think I could get a win before round 6 with something like a mouse hold.
I've got a good
Um
video idea.
I'd be down. After I win my first regional of the season next season, we can
You
get
block
Mimi
up
with
the
me.
invite.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Then I'll win with mouse hold. That'll be the imagine that's the outcome of this this bet or back and forth is I just win
Azul
a
gets
regional
his
with
world's
mouse
invite
hold.
with Mousehold EX.
No, that card is so terrible. There's no way.
Well, the deck that won EUIC, we did see it still do decently last
Did
weekend, but
okay.
it's definitely a far cry from winning a major tournament, and that was the Terrapagos Badoo deck. Brandon Salzar got top 32 with it in Vancouver. Over in Fortaleza, Austin Charles got top cut with it. There was a couple other players who got top 32. Mateus and Abelero got top 32 with the deck. So it's like it did okay, but it was pretty hyped up, I think, heading into the weekend. So did any of that lead to it doing worse? Or is it just kind of one of those situations where I don't know that it's like a deck people were necessarily prepping for that made it do or perform worse, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I said this, I don't know, 2 episodes ago or whatever. I don't think Cloth was actually that good of a play at UIC. I don't wanna say, like, Ryuki got lucky in matchups or anything like that, but, like, the winner is the winner at the end of the day. You can only play who's in front of you. But, like, yeah, I think Cloth was actually a pretty bad play at UIC. Not bad, but it was just, like, fine. It was, like, super fine. I think if you run that tournament back, I don't think Ryuki's winning. Um Once again, not trying to take anything away from Ryuki, obviously, but I'm not surprised to see it. And I think the meta did actually get better for it post EUIC a little bit, with like our Chaladon becoming less popular and stuff, but not by a lot. And so I'm really not surprised to see it still not have that successful of a run this last weekend. I don't think it'll be very successful going to Stockholm either. I just don't think the deck is that good right now. I think it's like a very fine deck overall. You can cheese any deck with Badoo doing a lot of damage, but yeah, overall, it's got too many tough matchups and stuff like Lugia, Gardevoir, Archaladon. Like the list goes on as far as tough matchups go. And even your Dragapult matchup, that one's a close one. So yeah, I think it's a top 32 kind of deck moving forward.
And the next up, I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. Is there any other like specific deck you want to talk about before we make a couple predictions for the tournament this weekend?
I guess like one thing that I like just kind of thinking about, like Guardy did fine at Vancouver, but it was actually like pretty successful at Brazil. So it kind of makes me wonder where Guardy kind of stands and how it'll do at Stockholm, to be honest.
Oh,
Because I'm not.
here's
Go ahead.
I was well, finish your Gardevoir
'Cause
point.
I'm not. I'm not that hype on guard for in this meta overall in this format, but it did do really well in Brazil. Like it was like 4 in top 8 or something like that. So I'm curious to see where Gardevoir kind of lands. And the big question mark for me is kind of the Dragapult matchup. Like, is it actually that good for Gardevoir? I don't feel like it is overall, but um, if it is, then it would make Gardevoir quite a stronger play going into the weekend, or I guess into this weekend. Yeah,
And I guess one more thing we could talk about would just be the deck that you played at Vancouver and
yeah.
how we feel about Miraidon right now. Because you were feeling really, really good and confident with Miraidon heading into Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm still feeling. I think Marion's like a really good play going into Stockholm because I don't think too much changes. I don't know if the meta gets like it probably gets better or worse for it to a degree, but I think Maradon is still a really really good play, and I think I would just run the exact same 60 I played at Stockholm. I don't even think I'd change a single thing. Maybe like if you wanted to find room to add something else in, you'd cut the canceling cologne, but I don't know. There's a lot of clef keys out there right now. And the only card that could be like tech for would be like Golden Go players could play Jamming Tower, which completely neutralizes the Defiance ban because you don't have a way to bump Stadium. Like theoretically, you could add a Lost Vacuum, but I don't know how many Golden Go players are going to go that far and add the Jamming
Yeah.
Tower.
And I
So
think that was something Rogerson played, right? Yeah, he played the Lost Vacuum, but he didn't have the Defiance. And he
yeah,
also had two stadiums.
yeah, he just has the vacuum to. I think the main reason is so you can get out of like the Mawile lock. You like switch cart and then you vacuum away your own stadium and then you discard everything that can't attack.
Yeah.
Like one big reason to play the vacuum. I'm sure there's other stuff too. In mirror matches, kind of cool to get rid of their bravery charm, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Maraudon's in a pretty good spot. We'll see. Like
All right.
if I was going to Stockholm, I'd just play the exact same 60 from Vancouver, and I'd feel pretty confident going into it for sure.
All right. Well, let's make a couple predictions here, Azul, for Stockholm this weekend. First up, we're going to say pick a low meta percentage deck to make cut.
So we're looking at like what, like 3 or less, right? Around
Yeah,
that?
or really anything that's like not going to be on the top six. Like, definitely will not be on the top six.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, I think this deck is still pretty powerful. I'm gonna go with Reggie Drago. I'm gonna go with the Reggie Drago. I can see Reggie Drago. Actually, I'm gonna go with Stall. I think Stall's gonna get in there. I think it's more likely Stall gets top than Reggie Drago.
Yeah, I do think there's potential for Regidrago. I mean, we did just see Christian Labella get top cut with the deck, but it's going to take someone who, like, I don't know that anyone is like really hanging on to the deck still or not,
Yeah,
right? Um,
maybe
so you're
Labella's going. We'll
you're
get
going
to that.
with Stall.
Mhm.
Um, I was kind of thinking Control potentially, to be honest. I mean, Stall did do super well in EUIC, right? So I could see that definitely being a good pick. I think I'm gonna say
Sarah Ledge, really? All right, Chip. You wanna
I
lock it
didn't
in?
did not say that. Did not say that. I don't know that Lost Box qualifies enough as a low meta share deck.
I mean, it'll probably be around 4 or 5%. Maybe it'll
It's
be like 3. It'll be
probably
pretty
a
low.
little too high to fit this criteria here. Um, I'll go with Control over the Stall.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
think that's a pretty good shout. We got
yeah.
some big time control heads, and I don't even remember the last time, I was gonna say Sanders made top cut, to be honest. He's kinda due for one. I don't know if he's going, but
Do you believe in do?
like Bud due or just like due for a come up.
Yeah, yeah, that someone is due to make a run at a tournament.
I mean, as long as they're like, I mean, yeah, yes, because like, I mean, that's what I've been saying recently is like, if you prep well, play well, and you go to like 2 majors, you should be on your winning in for one of them, if not in top cut. So, um,
Yeah.
comes
I'm
around,
gonna
it'll come around for good
say
players eventually. If as long as he's still trying, we'll see.
I'm gonna say Control, and then I think that's gonna segue nicely into our next prediction, and that prediction is pick a player to make top cuts, and I'm gonna pick Alessandro Cremescoli from Italy to make
All
top
right,
cut with Control.
the extended prediction.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go with Yella. Golden Go's pretty good right now.
Mm,
The king of Golden Go is gonna take it all the way to at least a top cut finish. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go further, but I think he'll hit that locked up, no problem.
seems like a pretty good prediction to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I like that one.
And then finally, how many? This is a fun one. This is the last tournament. Well, one of the last couple tournaments. We got Brisbane in a couple weekends, right?
Yeah.
We got just a few more tournaments left though of rotation. This will be the last European regionals in the current format before we have rotation. So, how many Pokemon V are there going to be in Top Cut? Now that includes Pokemon V, Pokemon V Star, Pokemon V Max.
Is there any of those?
I
Anyone
think all the
playing
V
those?
unions have rotated.
Yeah.
Hey, there are V Maxes that are still legal. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Not that anyone plays though, right? I'm not like losing my mind.
No, nobody plays any.
All right. So I think the big one,
Now is
like,
Heatran V Max's time. Finally, one last chance.
and this is in top cut, right? We're saying top cut. Yeah. So the big one to think about is you could think about Reggie Drago. I mean, if you look at Vancouver between the two Lugia and Reggie Drago, that's 18 V Pokemon. So the big question I feel like is not is Reggie Drago going to make top cut? It's going to be how many Lugias do you think are going to make top cut? And I'm going to say there's going to be at least one, so that makes up 6. Then you look at stuff like Dragapult, they're playing like 2V Pokemon, whether it be the double Luminion or the Rotom plus Luminion. Um, Rhydon plays Luminion and the Rotom. That's and the Raichu and the Raikou. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty high on Miraidon right now as well. I'm going with. Dude, I kind of just have like, to pick a number to be honest, because like yeah, you could have if there's like 2 Miraidon on cut, that's 8 V Pokemon potentially. I'm going with 17.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking in similar wavelengths. I think it's going to be in the teens, almost certainly, right? Luminion V has played in multiple things.
Wait, Lugia has 8 because it plays 2
Yeah,
Luminions.
Lugia has a lot, dude. Yeah,
Holy.
Lugia has a lot.
Oh.
And then if someone somehow makes it in there with Reggie Drago, they've got the 6 from the Reggie Drago, right? The Reggie Drago V and the V Star. They've got Gudra, they've got Giratina as well. Maybe they've got Luminion, who knows? Probably not
Man,
Luminion.
I'm gonna switch mine to 18 because I feel like most decks play an even number of V Pokemon.
Ooh,
Just gonna
interesting.
put it. I'm gonna put it at 18.
So you're saying 18. You know what I'm gonna say?
All right, what are you gonna say?
17.
All right, sounds good. Shit.
Oh, I didn't write any of these answers down. So you
All
said
right,
18, I said 17. You said Yella, I said Alessandro. And
low percentage meta deck. I said stall. You said control.
dude, what a fun tournament, huh? It's interesting you say Stall because you literally won this event last year with Stall. So
Ooh,
it's just destiny in Stockholm, I guess.
maybe someone's got to run it back. All dubs.
All right, Azul, well, you got anything else you want to say to the people before we get into our bonus episode?
Just make sure to tune to the stream this weekend. I'm gonna be doing the restream of Stockholm bright and early. I'll be starting up the stream at like 3:15 a.m. West Coast time. So do the calculations from there. But
I
yeah,
might tune in, but you won't see me before 8.
yeah. All right, Chip. I'll see you at 9 ish.
Probably a better, yeah, probably a better bet.
All right, send us out.
Yeah, thanks a bunch to everyone, as always, for listening. And if you do enjoy the podcast, we'd appreciate it if you'd show your support by leaving us a like, a review, a comment, a rating, subscribe. All those good things help us out a bunch and help more people to discover what we're doing over here. And if you want to stay up to date with us and what's happening in our lives and also with the podcast, you can follow us over on X. You can follow myself at Chip Ritchie, Azul at Azul_GG. And then you can follow the podcast at Uncommon_Energy.
Yeah, appreciate the support as always. Good luck to Yella specifically going to Stockholm this weekend, and then we'll catch y'all next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern.